過去、そう遠くない昔、太平洋を越え数名の日本人がカナダへ渡ってきました。海の向こうに夢を抱きやってきた人々。困難に追い込まれた日本での生活を解消すべく故郷を離れた人々。そうした人々が暮らしを続けたこの国、カナダ。漁に出た人々、森林業に関わった人々、鉱山で汗を流した人々。カナダでの生活の始まりはごく一般的なきっかけからだったのでしょう。いつしかカナダの土地にも馴染み、やがて始めた事業で成功を収めた人。日本の家庭に仕送りを続けた人。日本から知人をカナダに呼び寄せた人。日本人以外の配偶者を得た人。またこの地で困難を繰り返した挙句、日本へ引き上げてしまった人。さまざまな暮らしがあったことでしょう。時は過ぎ、いつまでも普通に暮らしていけることを願い、カナダでの生活を続けていた矢先に起きた戦争、そして失ったものを取り返すことすら許されなかった時代。日本人の家庭に生まれ育ったことを悔やんだ子供たちもいたかもしれません。日系人であることを気づかれないようにしながら、カナダ社会からの受け入れを願った人々。日系人同士の交流をあえて避けた人々。カナダ人としての人権と権利を取り返すべく集まった人々。日系社会を継承しようと働きかける人々。今回のシリーズ「あけぼの」では、各地で暮らすこうした日系カナダ人との出会いを通し、過去学んだもの、これから学ぶべきこと、何か後世に伝えていくべきことがあるのかなどを各エピソードを通して考えてみていただけたらと思います。カナダ日本間の国交が正式に樹立したのは1929年ですが、カナダでの日本人の生活はそれより半世紀以上先となる1800年代後半にまで遡るとされています。公式な記録によりますと、カナダでの生活を始めた最初の日本人は永野万蔵で、1877年にカナダに渡ってきたと記されています。以降1877年を機に日系社会の歴史が綴られ始め、100周年を迎えた1977年には日系人にとって大きな境目の年となる出来事が起きました。永野万蔵に関しては、最初にカナダに来た日本人ということにとどまらず、最初に事業で成功を収めた日本人として知られていますが、最初の成功者という功績を残すべく最初の日本人に位置づけられたのかもしれません。夏真っ盛りの8月中旬、日本ではお盆を迎えるこの時期、バンクーバーアイランドでも同様に祖先を偲ぶ墓参りが各地で行われていました。この墓参りは毎年恒例となる行事で、日系コミュニティの方々ほか周辺の地元の人々などにより亡くなられた日系人に対する慰霊・供養が行われていました。
Vancouver Island Obon Cemetery tour that we do is an annual tour that started approximately 30 years ago. And as you're probably familiar with, prior to World War II, There were Japanese Canadians who settled on Vancouver Island in various cities and townships. And during the World War II, they were all evacuated. But unlike the West Coast, after World War II, many of them did not return to the island. I think life was harsher here, so they didn't return, but their cemetery plots existed. During World War II and right after, many of these plots were desecrated and vandalized. And so about 30 years ago, our organization, together with the Cemetery Society, they gathered and they started fixing up some of these sites and having annual visits. So over the past 2 days, I was in Chemainus, Cumberland, Port Alberni, Nanaimo, Duncan, and then here in Victoria, Ross Bay.
バンクーバーアイランドには日系人に馴染みの土地がいくつかありますが、過去炭鉱地として知られたカンバーランドも当時日本人事業者の活躍などを見られたことで、いまだ日本人墓地が維持されています。
Every second year, the Obon tour takes place in Cumberland, and we recognize the people that are buried in the cemetery. And the minister carries on a ceremony which everybody can be involved with, and it is a very nice, peaceful way of recognizing their ancestors. It depicts our past. We at one time had a large community of Japanese in the village, and with the internment we lost all the people that lived here. And we've carried this tradition on of every second year of doing the Obon tour in Cumberland to recognize what an addition they were to the community at the time they were here, because they were well known for their farming and their fishing. Yes, they were very important to the community.
この墓地は戦後ひどく荒らされましたが、故人を悼み、後この修復に努めたモンクリフ元村長と会う機会が得れたので、彼に当時の話を聞いてみました。
You know, it's hard to explain the feeling that you have, but what really stuck in my craw, for example, was after they were moved, we used to walk the old railway grade out past number 1 Japanese town, and just walk, Billy Martin and I, just walking by looking at where they had dumped household. Well, it wasn't really garbage as we talk about garbage. It was bicycles, it was pedal cars, that kind of stuff, toys, whatever they couldn't take with them. And it, you know, just kind of, you know, at that time. And being on council, you know, we got involved in things like, well, the Ginger Goodwin deal. And we were I was personally involved in that. The naming of the mountain, and then we got looking at the cemetery and decided, you know, this isn't good enough, let's fix it up. And so, you know, we bummed logs off the logging company and got them milled, and we had work parties and stuff. So to try and bring forward the history and the memories, I think more than anything, is to not let it go, because there's much, much more than I can, you know, relate to. Sure. But when you look at 15 years old and all the school buddies are gone, and I don't see them again till 70 years later. And other than the Wanis and the odd letter from Takugi in Toronto, and we did have, when I was on council, as mayor and whatnot, we had reunions, and we had some pretty important gatherings.
カンバーランドはこのお盆供養に非常に協力的なほか、ビレッジ内にある博物館には過去この地で暮らした日系人の遺留品が展示されているなど、 非常に親日的な印象を受ける地でもあります。
The Japanese cemetery here was vandalized and was destroyed. A lot of the grave markers were knocked over. A lot of them were actually thrown over the side of the hill here, and they remained there for several years. And fortunately, someone or a group, I'm not sure if it was the village itself or whether it was just a group of people, actually gathered up the grave markers. And in the mid-1960s, I believe it was a centennial project, a Canadian centennial project, because 1967 is on or is carved on the monument here. These gravestones were all put into this one spot because there was no accurate record of all the graves. So although the grave markers were recovered, there was no way to determine which grave they belonged to. So I guess at that time, there was a service group who worked on the monument that we have here today, and it's for 1967, I think that was quite a significant thing to take place, because the apology for the internment of the Japanese Canadians didn't happen until 1988 by the government. So for the little village of Cumberland in 1967 to do something like this I think is very significant. And I've only lived in Cumberland for 12 years, but from what I've been able to learn about what has happened within this village, about I guess recording and saving the history of the village, the good and the bad, because there's both of it. I think that Cumberland has done a significant job in maintaining the history of our community, and I think that we've been able to celebrate, I think, the diversity of what was Cumberland at one time, because there was a Chinese community as well, there was a black community, Italians, Scots. There were a lot of people that came here to work in the coal mines.
カナダにおける日系史の中で語られる人物で、永野万蔵に続き知られているのが、新田次郎執筆の密航潜水庵丸で馴染みのある及川甚三郎。フレイザーリバーに浮くドンアイランドとライオンアイランドの2つの中州を過去及川島、佐藤島と名付け、郷里から呼び寄せた大勢の人々とこの中州にて漁業で生計を立てながら共に暮らしていました。
He spent a number of years in Steveston, learning how to fish and learning how to salt fish and all that kind of stuff. So he was prepared before he went to get settlers from Japan. Okay. Yeah. And Japan at that time was, especially northern Japan, was in very dire straits because it was right after the Russo-Japanese War, and people were highly taxed, and they had very bad weather. The crops were bad, and people were starving. And but anyway, he convinced a number of those people to pay him passage and sneak out of the country. Because of the fact that Japan had just fought the Russo-Japanese War, and they felt maybe hostilities might be renewed, they were not allowing young men to leave the country, because just in case they needed to, build up their army again. So Oikawa had to sneak these people out of the country. There was this resourceful Japanese consulate employee who was able to get a deal for them because they were short of manpower at that time. Okay. And so I think they promised to work on the railroad for 2 years or something and pay a fine, and they were allowed in. So yeah, so Oikawa lucked out, you know. And I guess maybe he lost some of the men, but he was able to get enough men onto his 2 islands, far away from Steveston, far enough away, that he was able to set up his business and export fish and salmon roe. He eventually went back to Japan. I think it was 1917 he went back. He was maybe into other things, because he was, if you've seen the Oikawa collection, you'll see that he had kept track of the rice market, and he had reams and reams of stuff on how the rice market was doing. And so he had, you know, and he had businesses in Yokohama, I guess import-export probably. And his son was looking after that, his son from his first wife. And then his second wife, he had a son and a daughter, and the son unfortunately died in a boating accident. And the romantic story is that he was so heartbroken he went back to Japan, you know. But it seems like maybe he had, you know, to look after business in Japan. I guess he was still probably fairly wealthy, but not as wealthy as he once was, you know. Right. Yeah.
海沿いとなる土地柄からバンクーバーの主な産業が漁業であったことで、過去日本からバンクーバーに到着した人々の多くがこの漁業に関わる状況が見られていました。バンクーバー地区での中心漁業地といえばスティーブストン。戦前は多くの日系人がスティーブストンで漁業を営んでいました。サーモンの水揚げ量が年々減少していることで、スティーブストンで漁業を続ける際の課題も多くなり、後継者を育てることなく船を降りる漁師が増えているとされています。
Fishing industry is really suffering, partly because of the regulations that have been brought in. At one time, you know, we could do any sort of fishing that we wanted. You can gill net, you can troll, you could be a shrimp fisherman, you can fish halibut, fish cod, you name it, you could do it. Dogfish, whatever. If you wanted to go out and do it, you could do it, and you can go anywhere. But they brought in area licensing, and then they felt that they wanted to increase the fishing stocks, and they were trying to put up more fish into the spawning grounds. But fish in trees and mountains, clear water, and even out in the marshes here, it's all interrelated. You know, we've developed it, we cut the trees down, we developed mines and dumped a bunch of chemicals and stuff into it. So you can't produce fish like it was as if man, before man was here. And they try to do that, but the problem is that because we cut the trees down, the water becomes warmer, has less oxygen, and you can't put as much fish up there. So there's all these other issues that come up that people have really not have had a chance. So the stock is going down. The other thing that you have to realize too is that with the pine beetle, or is it pine beetle? Yeah. It's in the primary spawning areas for salmon, sockeye salmon, and so and when the trees die, the water gets warmer, you get runoff, things like this. So the stocks are reducing, and then an example this year, we didn't get any openings at all.
スティーブストンを訪れた際に街中で目に留まるのが武道館。この武道館建設に深く関わったジム・モーリーに当時の話を聞いてみました。
Well, that was my idea. to build that Budokan because the Steveston Center had acquired a certain amount of money and they were going to build a Japanese park. And another friend of mine, he came out and told me about this, you know, because I was on the Richmond Council at that time. And I said, no, don't build a park. What are you going to do with a park? You go there when the cherry blossoms are blooming. Everybody have a little picnic and stuff like they do in Japan? No. I says, why don't you build a dojo? Kendo on one side, judo on the other side. Dress it up real nice and be there, and it'll be something that'll be there forever. And every young people will keep coming and coming. And then the municipality gave us money, and then we raised money from the citizens, and then I went to Japan and we got some money from Japan and so on, you know, it went like that. You know, I've been there many times and I fought in there many times, but a lot of them have come back and are staying in Steveston now and in and around the area. The younger people of the Japanese people now, I guess, you know, their bloods are mixed between the whites and the Japanese now and so on. My wife is Japanese and Canadian too, you know, so that has been going on, and you see more and more of them like that nowadays.
次回のあけぼのでは一世たちの生活模様を振り返るセトルメントをお送りします。